sweet dear magical friends. Welcome, Wilkommen to your weekly horoscope and tarot with me, Nathalie, spelled Nathale. This week is a big week. You're going to feel a difference. That's because we have 2 ingresses and a new moon in Capricorn. So let's dive in. Monday, December the 19th, we have the moon in Scorpio going to be crossing over the south node in Scorpio, and also making a sextile to Venus in Capricorn. I'm calling Monday strong memories, and that's because of that south node contact. There could be some form of loss, and this doesn't have to be something super meaningful and monumental. It could be something that big as far as a feeling or a thought patterning, just like a way of looking at something is concerned. And that could kind of surprise you like that. So that could feel like someone just pulls the rug out from underneath you. So just be open and see what life is showing you on Monday, because it's probably something that's, especially if you try to start something very new or different and maybe even innovative, you'll see very sharply what part of that new thing or this new beginning needs to not go with you to the new start. You know what I'm saying? So you might have to let go of something in order to have something else. So, it doesn't, be careful spending money around this time. Usually if you do something on that crossing of the south node, it could be wasted money, or it could just end up not being that, goes anywhere. So that's why it's just like, be a little bit careful. And, I'm calling it strong memories because it could be the past. It could be triggers. It could be, feelings of resentment, especially with the moon in Scorpio. Things could just be feeling really biting, and you just want to be careful that you're not falling into a very similar or same rut that you did in a past life or even in this lifetime. So I really like the sextile to Venus in Capricorn. That could be kind of nefarious, like not gonna beat around the bush there. Scorpio and Capricorn can be kind of nefarious, but let's say that's not you. Let's say that you are using this the better way, which is that you can intuit the best of the familiar. So you could say, yes, I know what I'm leaving behind, and I know what I'm outgrowing, I know what doesn't work for me. And you can also recognize the positive things that have served you and that you'll be able to continue benefiting from in the future, because you've benefited from this in the past. It's brought you to this moment perhaps, and you're ready to maybe solidify it or use it in a really important way to get something else going. But you'll have to separate and parcel that out from what is not working for you. Tuesday, we have the moon in Scorpio now opposing Uranus in Taurus, squaring Saturn in Aquarius, trining Neptune in Pisces. And this is, you guys, this is when Jupiter moves into the sign of Aries. So honestly, the last couple days of this energy, the weekend, Saturday the 17th, Sunday the 18th, Monday the 19th, are just, even on Tuesday the 13th, Tuesday the 20th, these are juicy, juiced up days that you want to just get the very most of and the very best of whatever this Jupiter and Pisces has been for you, the experience that this has brought you, and the faith, deepening the beliefs, being shown something that you didn't think was possible, that you did not believe in before, but you've seen it with your own 2 eyes. You've had it. You've physically, you know what I'm saying? There's some kind of really big expansion that has been happening in that area of your life, and that could have been a deepening personally and or a broadening of a physical terrestrial experience. So I'm really gonna miss this transit. I mean, what I have, I will take forever into my future. So take whatever you've learned and just meditate on it. There could be one last big gift for you before Jupiter re-enters the sign of Aries. This is in itself, once Jupiter gets into that 0th degree, that's a very important point. We're gonna keep coming back to that, but I want you to just really soak up the beginning of the week and just see what universe brings you. Or is it going to deepen your belief into something? Is it going to continue to, is it going to be one more big, like magician's reveal, where you get to see something that you're just like, oh my God, this is so amazing. This is so unbelievable. And I'm so excited. It could be something like that. Now, if it's been a little bit more of a bubble bursting type of Jupiter, Neptune, and Pisces transit for you. This could be a really strong sign from the universe, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, that something doesn't have reason to believe in it anymore. Like the rose-colored glasses, the bubble bursts, it's that kind of thing. Any kind of inflated ideas that cannot really be propped up by anything, those will probably deflate really hard before Tuesday. Okay, so I'm gonna say write everything down, journal it all down, because it's just magical. It's just been very magical. It's been very healing, very spiritual, very creative. For the higher octaves. Now, the lower octaves of this Jupiter Pisces could have been mental illness and drug addictions and lies and deception and sexually transmitted diseases and infections and viruses and crossing boundaries in a bad way that disrupt your beliefs, that disrupt your ideas about something or someone. So you want that to happen in a positive way, where something works out way better than you thought. You were being conservative and you got so much more out of it. You were being a little bit creative, but then you were challenged to be super uber creative, and you surprise yourself with what you can come up with. You set a small goal for meditating, and you were able to just shoot right past that goal and turn it into something really, really valuable for yourself. You know, something like that. So remember, everything in astrology is how you use this energy. Okay, so back to the moon. Moon in Scorpio opposing Uranus and Taurus. Of course, it's going to aggravate and just, you know, poke and prod that Saturn-Uranus square that was more active, you know, last year. It did get close this year in October, but didn't hit it quite like super duper exact. So you've seen where the rumblings have been happening. You've seen the foundations that have been breaking up. And as this moon is getting darker and darker and darker and aggravating it again, I'm calling Tuesday a shift of fate. That opposition to Uranus is going to bring sharp awareness intuitively through surprising behaviors of other people, surprises in the situation, surprises in changing circumstances. So try to keep an open schedule, go with the flow, be ready to pivot as needed. The square to Saturn is telling me that this is karmic, which means cause and effect. So this energy that's coming through in your life, whether it's a no or a denial or a wait, you know, sit back and wait, you have to learn this, or, you know, calm down, you have to do this first, or, you know, a pressure to justify decisions that you made in the past. Like, is it holding up? Is it real? Is it, you know, justified? It's a karmic challenge. So the biggest thing about Tuesday is to not blame anybody else. Don't blame people. Don't blame the government. Don't blame your parents, or I don't know, your generation pressures. I don't know. But the thing with Saturn is to take personal responsibility. Take as much personal responsibility as you possibly can without betraying your own boundaries. And this is where discernment comes in very, very, very strongly. Very critical. Now, the trine to Neptune and Pisces, the intuition and feelings can be full of belief. So, you know, piggybacking off of what I said about the longer Jupiter in Pisces, it was 3 time frames, but you're getting like, this is like max peak energy at that very end, that 29th degree, not only the end of that sign, but it's the end of the entire zodiac. So it's kind of even more meaningful. So you really are seeing the fuller picture of what you've been trying to learn. So try to narrow it down, like a word, you know, a theme, like what has been the thread that's been running through this entire time for you. Because that moon connecting with Neptune, it's really, really intuitive, and it really says that if this has been going really nicely for you, if this has been really healing and inspiration, all of those things, then this is having a fullness of belief in that Pisces area of life that you could have been pessimistic or even some form of martyrish or masochistic or like feeling sorry for. You know, you don't want to do that. You don't want to like feel sorry for. That's a kind of unequal. You want to have empathy and respect for but the equal give and take. So the things got unbalanced. This could be a very harsh correction of that kind of imbalance. But this trine from the moon to Neptune could be full of intuitive intelligence, is what I'll say. Personal downloads that you're getting. And then that Jupiter entering the sign of Aries, this is, like I said, a very critical moment. You're going to come back to this a lot in 2023. So, I've been more excited about the last half of December than like the first half of December, and I talked about it in my December monthlies over on the Patreon. But this 0-degree Aries with Jupiter in Aries, and what I'll say for Jupiter in Aries, try to set your life up where there is some area of your life that you are the student, that you are learning from someone that knows more than you, and an area of your life where you are the master, you are helping someone, you have an acolyte, you have someone that you're tutoring. You're passing on your knowledge and your wisdom to someone or something else. Maybe it's a blog, maybe it's, whatever it happens to be. So that's a pretty great balance, but it's also you taking action and creating your own luck. And the Jupiter in the Pisces party, that was more serendipitous, fated. You're in fate brings you the opportunity. That's what the Pisces party has been. You taking the opportunity or leaving the opportunity is you creating your destiny. And that's going to be something you'll probably see a little bit clearer after the fact, because when you're in the Neptune Pisces energy, you don't have the facts, you don't have all the information. You have to go on your intuition and just pray and hope that you've done enough subliminal work and that you know enough about your own subconscious and that you know yourself well enough that you will make the right decisions and that you will be able to recognize what is an intuitive download, what is, communication, and what is like delusion or something. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Wednesday, the 21st, I'm calling it's a big deal. It's a big deal on Wednesday. That's because we have the moon in Sagittarius now trining over to that Jupiter in Aries. That is buoyant optimism. I mean, that is just like the feelings. And this is why I'm calling this week mining Saturn's diamonds, because there's like pressure that's building up whenever you have an ingress of a planet from one sign going into another sign, especially when it doesn't happen every 2.5 days like the moon does. So the two ingresses, Jupiter into Aries, the sun into Capricorn, that would have been enough. But we also have a new moon at the end of this week, and that new moon is squaring Jupiter at like 1 degree. So very critical, exciting things happening this week. And, it has the Saturnian element to it. Saturn is going to be the ruler of both the sun and the new moon. So a lot of our focus is going to be really pulled to the agenda and finishing this Saturn in Aquarius agenda through setting goals and accomplishments with the new moon in Capricorn. But we need the discernment. We have the get up and go energy after Jupiter enters into the sign of Aries. But I just really want to make sure that you guys get the full kick of that Jupiter in Pisces. Like, just trust yourself. Believe. That's what faith and belief are. They're thoughts you think over and over again, but it's what you emotionally charge up that makes it real for yourself. So you can tell yourself that if the emotion is not there, that's the glue. It's not going to hold up if the emotion isn't fully charged. So, emotionally charge these beliefs and dreams and hopes and wishes responsibly. Okay. Let's not get dream drunk on delusions. We want to make sure that they're viable. And with the new moon in Capricorn, Saturn being the ruler of the sun for the next few weeks, it's going to make sure that you do that. And that's how you're going to be mining Saturn's diamonds. Did you know that it rains diamonds on Saturn? How great would it be to have Saturn, actual Saturn diamonds here? How cool. Okay, that moon in Sagittarius will also oppose Mars retrograding in Gemini. Now, this is acute separations that we didn't snip off before. So, this is going to be a little bit like very passionate, maybe very angering. There could be anger, there could be passion, there could be lust, there could be desire, intense wanting, there could be intense creativity, an intense motivation to act. So this is not something that we have to pull ourselves along through discipline. Remember, discipline is honoring the commitment long after the desire to honor that commitment has left you. We're not having to do that. This is something where it's like, boom, I'm ready. Boom, I'm there. Boom, I want to do this, and let me just do it. And then there's that belief involved. It's a little bit grandiose because the moon is in Sagittarius, but that's okay. That's okay. With Mars being retrograde still, this, like I said, is something that could be a missed opportunity that you didn't do before, or something that you wanted that you didn't act on before. It could be like a second opportunity to do something. But with the moon opposing Mars, it's probably, again, like cutting something out, or there could have some, I would say, maybe even potential unintended consequences from maybe what you've said in the past, or be careful of what you're saying now. This Mercury retrograde later on could bring it back up, and then you have to deal with it again. So be careful if you are angry and there's like stuff happening like around this time. Okay. Now, the sun entering Capricorn is immediately going to square Jupiter in Aries. And this is part of your new moon lunation. So this is when that energy goes exact. So this is the mining Saturn's diamonds too. This is some kind of pressure or some kind of tension that builds up to even make a diamond, that builds up into forming the opportunity. So it's like this is a weird new moon to me, because usually like you need some time to build. You build that new moon, you meditate into the 0th degree, and then you let the moon gain in light a day or two, and then you start to like say things and do things usually. But this is a new moon where like a couple days before is when you have the sun square Jupiter. So number one, that means that on the new moon it's going to be already separating, so it's going to be kind of like a closing, like you're starting something new. There's all this pressure and momentum, but it will be pulling apart something in order to build something new. So that could be a little bit complicated, especially in the middle of the week, that there could be like the final straw that breaks the camel's back to put an end to something. And this is tied to your beliefs. If you don't believe in it anymore, if it's not authentic to you anymore, you're going to feel what is. First of all, you're going to really feel where your passions are pulling you along, and that's where you're going to want to go anyway. So it's like, let it be stressful and just hold the tension. Understand there will be some kind of obstacles, maybe even over enthusiasm, maybe even burnout or workaholism, or issues with, or maybe obstacles that have to do with people in positions of power, people in authority, and maybe even mentors and guides and teachers and people that are in positions of respect and some form of guidance, because that's Capricorn and that's Jupiter. So you also have the sun and you have Aries, and it's a little bit more individualistic, more independent energy. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are some, maybe not changing of the guard or changing power, but just some kind of like, everyone just calm down, everyone just wait a second, and it's all going to get sorted out. Everything like erupts at once. How maybe in a restaurant or at a table or in any environment, it's just chill and quiet, and then all of a sudden, maybe in the coffee shop, all of a sudden it gets super loud, like out of nowhere. Everybody starts getting excited about their topic of conversation at the same time. It's kind of like that. That's what I'm getting for Wednesday. So, but it's kind of like that moment where all of a sudden it's all there. It's like there was nothingness at the brunching place. Everyone was just like having a lull in their own thoughts. The staff not talking to each other. And then all of a sudden, everyone remembers what they wanted to tell the other person. Someone drops the dishes, the dog bursts through the door, like all of a sudden that silence breaks, and then there's the eruption of everything. That's kind of how I'm picking up this middle of the week energy, when the sun ingresses Capricorn and immediately squares that newly entered Jupiter in Aries. And that makes way for the end of the week to start to figure out how this is going to work logistically. So it's like getting really excited and then putting the plan together. Okay, so that's Wednesday. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Oh, the whole time no one told me it was like that. Welcome to Thursday, the 22nd. I'm calling beautiful brilliance. We have, of course, we love a nice Venus trine for a nice Venus Uranus trine for everyone born with a Venus Uranus. So Venus in Capricorn trines Uranus in Taurus. This is so pretty. This is like a brilliant aesthetic, brilliant design ideas or gifts or benefits, just something really. Look at what Uranus and Venus rule in your chart. See if they are connected natally, and it could be bringing something together from these two areas of life for you, and they manifest in the areas of life ruled by these in Capricorn and Taurus. So I think it's gonna be really pretty. I think it's gonna be aesthetically pleasing. I think it's gonna be really great. And with Venus and Capricorn could be long lasting. So, you know, whether it's relationships or projects or work that you're doing, anything at all could just, you could get this spark. You could, this would be like you get the color palette and you see it in your mind's eye. And when you incorporate it into the work that you're doing, it just turns out to be something that just looks beautiful, like forever. And it's like the color palette that, you know, once it gets disseminated throughout the next couple months or years or whatever, it just really unfolds beautifully, surprisingly more and more. But you picked it up, you got that download on the Venus Uranus trine. So I want you to think that way, like the Jupiter and Pisces, like really remember the feelings, remember what it feels like so that you can draw on that later on if you need to. Okay. Also on Thursday, the moon in Sagittarius, sextile Saturn in Aquarius. So stability, grounding projects that you've started. This is nice for the vision, putting the vision together, but like in a very concrete, sort of realistic way. And then the square to Neptune and Pisces. This can be over optimistic. This can also just make it not the best for numbers. So if you have any math to do, I would put it off. Put it off for another day, put it off. On Friday, we do have on the 23rd, I'm calling it to be a demigod. That's because we have the moon entering into the sign of Capricorn. It's a new moon in Capricorn. It is squaring Jupiter in Aries. So the square, the moon squaring Jupiter, this could be an expedited birth or a speedy track project or anything that gets on the fast track. Or when I say, you know, the birth of something, it's like that pressure, the diamond, you know, it's like something just coming into existence, maybe even out of nowhere, but the pressure's been building, the momentum has been building, and it's kind of like like I'm telling you, it's kind of like a new moon that might start more dramatically, at least in feeling. You at least are feeling really happy and all hopped up and excited about something. Even if the physical stuff doesn't roll out till next year, you like know something or you feel something this week, middle to the end. Okay, now the actual new moon in Capricorn, I'm telling you guys, meditate into it in order to channel freaking greatness. Look at that beautiful pile up. I have a stellium in Capricorn. I consider a stellium to be 4 planets or more to make a stellium. You'll hear other astrologers say 3 or more planets. Personal preference, I'm going to be a Capricorn stellium stickler and say 4. Because I can. So we have the sun, we have the moon, we have Venus, we have Mercury going to go retrograde, and we have Pluto about to leave in 2023 to go into Aquarius. It'll come back. It'll mess around at the very end of Capricorn, but it'll come back. This is where your grand, oh, this is also the solstice. So we're actually going to start ceremony pretty soon. I'm going to come back and the lighting is going to be totally different because it is. This is why everyone is really sober and serious around New Year's, thinking about their life and what they want to do and everything that they wasted in the past year, all the things that they wish they did, and all the things that they're promising themselves that they're going to do this year in 2023, you know, because it's Capricorn season. It's really taking a sober stock of your life of your character, of your integrity, of your reputation, of what you are known for, your accomplishments, and feeling depressed by it, feeling under the weight of it. So, it's the new moon is going to be something that's going to inspire you. That's why I'm saying, like, meditate, channel into it. You could see the whole picture on a dark moon. But wait, that's the general guidance, is to wait a day or so for the moon to increase in light. You want to work your own chart for that too, and then start to build it up. But you could really see it with this new moon, and it could be very transformative. A lot could be coming together for you, and there could be some really big ideas. Really big. I mean, think about how far you've come over the last year, because there might be a specific milestone or a mile marker at that time. And you just take stock and feel into it, because there could be a lot of wisdom that you've gained, and there could be a lot that you are taking with you into this next lunar cycle. So you're going to be feeling pretty sober. Like I said, just take stock of where you are and try not to get down or depressed about it. I'd rather you just get serious about it. So, yeah, there could be some absolutely golden nuggets. This whole thing is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is in Aquarius. So this has to be innovative in some way, shape, or form. There has to be a leveling up. There has to be somewhere that you're growing into that you haven't really experienced, and it has to be beneficial for everyone. So, take your time with that. Okay, let's take a look at Saturday 24th, inspired discussions. So the moon in Capricorn conjuncts Venus and Mercury in Capricorn, sextiles Neptune in Pisces, and then Mercury in Capricorn, sextiles Neptune in Pisces. So this is, as we get into this as we're closing up December, we have the Mercury trining over to Uranus in the North Node. It's going to be Venus, and then it's going to be the Sun. So it's real. I'm telling you, it gets really, really sweet. So the moon meeting with Mercury and Venus, lovely, happy communication. It's serious, sober planning, but it's pleasing, and it makes you feel really grounded. It makes you feel like you've got a plan, and it makes you feel, because you're making the plan, and it's scalable. So, I like it a lot. It just looks, doesn't mean it doesn't have to be, humorous, and, Saturn rules humor, believe it or not, rules Saturn's day, Saturday. So it's just going to be a good day for brainstorming and for talking and for relating. You want to be on the wavelength of taking shit seriously, though. That's all. You just want to take it seriously and just, respect, simple stuff like that. So we also have Mercury sextiling Neptune. So that's kindness, compassion, empathy, and really big ideas. But I love it because you're grounded. You're not going to let yourself just have these big ideas without caring about grounding them. You will care about how it will work logistically. You'll care about the position, the authority, the title. You'll care about the pay, the compensation. You'll care about locations. You'll care about who's getting taken care of. You'll care about taxes. You'll care about forms and deadlines. You're going to care about all that stuff because the dream is important to you. Taking care of the business of it, you're going to care about. You're going to really believe in this dream or this idea so much that you will figure it out, and you'll ground it down, and then you'll do it. And that's what Capricorn season really is all about. It's not just for getting super depressed and being a Grinch or an Eeyore or anything. So practice like self-compassion and like self-care if you are feeling like super like miserable and down and pathetic and depressed and everything. Because if you're like that, the best thing you can do is to move through that energy super fast, which is to accept that you got yourself there and figure it out. Reverse engineer it. When you're like, how did I get here? Why is my life so messed up? Reverse engineer it. What did you do? What did you say? What did you not do? What opportunities did you miss? What did you not say or not do? And reverse engineer it so that you can dig yourself out. Okay? But you got to take you got to own that. You got to take responsibility for that. And what I've seen people avoiding Saturn lessons is that they run from that one moment sometimes all their lives, and they die that way. But it's that one moment that they are running from. That's it. Because on the other side of that moment is your freedom. And I feel like with this Saturn Uranus square the last couple of years, I feel like it's just been this push and pull between the future and the past, and the innovative and the breakthroughs and the traditions, and like the bedrock, the institutionalization, and how to have the best of both worlds in your personal world and your lived experience in your life. So it's, if you can do that, you have to have both though. You want the innovation and the freedom of Uranus, and you want the stability and the structure and the integrity of Saturn. But you have to show up well for both, and the highest expression of both energies, which includes being good with your Saturn and gulping it down, and you know what I'm saying, like just being really, really mature. So the best way to use all this stuff, astrology, your psychic ability, tarot cards, any divination tools, is to be as mature as humanly possible. That's when you're going to get the most out of all this stuff. And on Sunday, I am calling Sunday Love Don't by Nathaniel, Rateliff, and the Night Sweats. This song is really perfectly encapsulating what I feel Sunday is going to be like and feel like for everyone. We have the moon in Aquarius. Merry Christmas, happy Christmas to everyone. And that moon in Aquarius is going to trine over to a Mars retrograde in Gemini, and eventually also pass over Saturn in Aquarius. So immediately with the moon in Aquarius, this is it. This is where the song comes from, because in the song, he sings, "Love don't treat you like that. Love don't treat you like that." And it's very, very passionate of, love doesn't treat you this way. That's not love. And it's like this, it's got that kind of vibe to it. And that's really the vibe of moon in Aquarius. We know in our hearts, we know in the heart of our minds, because it's heady, it's an air sign, we know right from wrong. We know, okay? And the ego operates differently than it does when there's anything that's in Leo's sign. Whenever anything is in Aquarius, the ego is very, very different. So this is where you get the righteousness of some Aquarius energies, sun, moon, and risings, or the God complex. It's a different kind of God complex than the Pisces, Neptune people. Different. It's like I said, it's very, very heady. So this is saying that your ego and your heart are going to operate more towards doing the right thing for everyone, knowing right and wrong, and being on the side of the right, being on the side of what's truly just and truly fair. You'll know the difference between your ego needs and the results. When you put all your energy behind, maybe an unconscious ego drive or ego need, you're frustrated, you're trying to manipulate, lie, cheat, and steal to get your way, to get what you want, try to force people and situations and outcomes to suit you, even if you trust yourself that it's not hurting anyone for me to get what I want. This moon in Aquarius, you will feel so, you can't put that over anymore. Like with yourself, this is about personal integrity. This isn't getting away with someone because no one's finding out about it. This is doing the right thing because your ego is now feeling so good from just doing the right thing. Okay, Saturn in Aquarius is the agenda. What's the best for everyone? What is fair? What is equal? What is the thing about decentralization? This is like a, no central hub of power, decentralized. So it's really more about that. And emotionally, you're going to emotionalize your intellect, intellectualize your emotions. Now with the moon trining over to Mars retrograde in Gemini, you've got to take an action that you feel intuitively was the loss of an opportunity that you missed in the past, or just something that you didn't do, or even if you didn't miss the opportunity, maybe you didn't get the opportunity and that was the wrong thing that happened. It just didn't get going. It didn't get off the ground. It wasn't the right timing. You didn't have a chance. You were overlooked. You were passed over. It could be something like that, or it could be something on your side that you goofed up. So in any case, this is the day to really make things right, to set things right, and that's going to make you feel good. And even if you're not feeling the feeling, you just know intellectually that when it does hit, it's going to settle in and it's going to feel really good. It's going to feel really nice. But you should be able to make the smarter decisions and say the right things because you know, not really because you're like feeling it in the moment. Some of you might feel it in the moment and act. I feel like most people will feel it only because, not like the emotion, but probably like the passion, being able to take action because of the trine to Mars. That's very instigated, that's very triggered, that's very, you're ready to push the button. You know, for better or for worse, you know, this can be a goof up for a lot of people with the Mars retrograde if they take the incorrect action. If they feel like they know they're in the wrong in a situation and they make that conscious decision, I'm gonna die on this hill and I don't care. I'm gonna go down on this and I'm never going to admit that I was wrong. I don't care. That's taking the incorrect action. And I'm telling guys, this is the longest full moon of the year, the full moon in Gemini. I've been seeing people stepping in it left and right because of evidence, because of, oh my God, it's just been crazy. So, I mean, you know, by the time you get to Sunday, the 25th of December, you're out of that. Okay, you're out of that. You do have this Moon Mars connection when you have the Moon Mars conjunction on the full moon. So take what you've learned, either you stepping in it or watching other people stepping. I'm like, whoa, 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 man. You know what? Just learn from everyone else's Scooby snacks. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at your. Oh, I guess we're almost over, but this is December's calendar, and these are the tiers. Go ahead and screenshot so you guys have a copy for yourself. You can also download the PDF on the patreon.com/TheFirstArteagan. Okay, well, let's just do our thing here. What do we have? What can we expect for our people coming up in this week ahead? I'm telling you guys, I'm really excited for the shifts, but I am really gonna miss Jupiter and Pisces. But I was kind of stressed out. We have the Knight of Wands to start. So here's the passion. This is passion you want to act on because it's going to leave. It's going to fade. You're going to lose your nerve if you don't push a button when you want to push the button. So make sure you push the button. I was nervous about like, oh, I want to get as much as I can out of Jupiter and Pisces. I finally got the big thing, like the big gift before the planet leaves the sign to enter into Aries. I got it Saturday on the Mercury-Uranus trine. And I have a stellium in Capricorn. So I knew the end of the month was going to be like ping, 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 all this stuff happening. Oh, it's everything is fine. 10 of Swords. We are going to clarify all this, don't you worry. So yeah, this is one of those weeks where the beginning is going to feel totally different than the end. Like people are going to be in like whole new lives by the end. Oh my God. You have the Three of Swords, you have the Tower, and you have the Three of, we're going to stop right there. And the Three of Wands. The bottom of the deck, you have the Two of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, and the World. God, this is like the end of having, you're graduating. This is like the end of having to like super prove yourself or really like defend your spot on the rock and say, I deserve to be here and I'm going to keep fighting for my spot. It's not who's going to let me, it's who's going to stop me. Okay, and if you're going to stop me, you see me, look at my eyes, we're going to be doing this for a while because I'm not giving up. I'm not going to give up my spot. This is my spot. I know it's my spot. And even though you're trying to push me off, I'm not going to stop defending my spot. So one of us is going to give up. It's not going to be me. Okay. That's the end. You're culminating, you're graduating something. People have been trying to knock you off. People have been trying to discredit you, mar your reputation, maybe even financially target you, or you've had financial, with the Two of Pentacles, financial cleverness. So you've had to get really, inventive and clever with your finances, and you've had to fight to survive that way. Something. Take a look at this Mishigas over here. So this is telling me that there's definitely a vision for your life that you were invested in, that is you've got to accept that it's just not going to happen. Or you have to accept that it's not going to happen when you want or how you want, okay? Or you have to accept that there are people that are going to be disappointed that you're not maybe honoring a former vision that you had for your life. Let's use the holographic. Let's do that. I even have the rose gold here too. Tell me about, let's do the Knight of Wands. We'll take a look at the Knight of Wands. What do we need to know about the Knight of Wands? Message of my y'all. Ooh, thank you. Four of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, this is like a financial opportunity or a business opportunity, and it could come up kind of out of nowhere, or you could just get the inspiration to act and move, and you might even be moving finances from accounts that you had planned not to touch, or you might like call upon reserves or assets, or liquidate assets, or like you might cash out, you might do that in order to do something else, in order to finance something else that you have like a passion for, or some kind of download about, that you just have kind of, this is like an intuitive feeling, but like, okay, so not everyone meditates just like sitting on a fancy pillow or in a dark room or lying down. Some people do moving meditation. Some people can meditate through running, or Tai Chi, or just moving their bodies, but it's through the moving of the body. Some people, it's barefoot in the ground, and they're really connected to the earth. So it's like, it's not just like one way. So if one way of meditating isn't working, don't try to like force yourself into this little spirituality box. Okay, let's take a look at the Ten of Swords, the everything is fine Ten of Swords. Listen, the universe makes things very clear for all of us. So when it's an answer we don't like and we ignore it, we're forcing the universe to get even clearer and even more sharp with the message. The Fool, the Ace of Swords, and the, take them all. One more. Okay. King of Swords, Four of Swords, Ace of Swords, the Fool, and the Four of Wands. So this is like thinking quite long and hard to figure out some kind of living situation, or to figure out, or maybe even broker some kind of living situation, or maybe even home or rental property. You could be deciding like, am I going to Airbnb my spare bedroom, or am I going to, you might be figuring out, and this is like a mental stress you've been stressing out about, like so I'm re-breaking like a bunch of my stories, and now I'm working on a bunch of my scripts. And one of my scripts, I'm writing this character that's kind of like 𝚃𝚛𝚟𝚎 from the Royal Tenenbaums, and I'm kind of like this, where he's trying to like not prepare for COVID-19 or anything, but he's trying to prepare for like disasters, like crisis control, and it's like just in case type of thinking. And this is like kind of like that, but being super worried about like a birthday party, home life, a property matter, family, being a landlord, being a renter, being a homeowner, selling the home. Something about it is something you've never done before, you've never tried before, and it's a pretty big deal, because like I said, this is that thinker that with like little cute little red matching jogging suits, and it's like, you know, he just loves his kids, you know, he just really loves his kids. He's all traumatized. He's got PTSD from the plane thing. So anyway, let's take a look at the Tower, the Three of Swords, and the Three of Wands. Oh, but that says that the worry and that anxiety is like, it's over. It's over, and you feel a lot better about trying something new or doing something you've never done before. Look at double Seven of Wands and the Five of Pentacles. There's two other cards, and I'll take them to face down. Three of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups. So this is luckily connected to all of this over here because it's a little bit more, and even underneath that you have the Ten of Swords, Ten of Swords. So this really is the end of an era. This is the end of doing things. This is like you're changing protocol. You're changing something fundamental. And it's like it's almost like being forced to redesign a process because it's like really breaking, not working anymore. And I don't know, maybe people's lives are in danger, like the stakes are really high or something like that. So it's like a force hard reset type of a thing. And you know, there is someone here that is like really fighting for like their job or their paycheck or their reputation, or you know, like they really are trying so hard to prove themselves. Like there's just a lot of treachery or confusion or bad timing or vagueness, ambiguity. There's something shifting, like the Three Pentacles. There could be three or more people involved. And you know, sometimes for, you know, people say like to have justice for someone, to bring justice about for something, but that's not like totally accurate. What we're looking for after a wrong has happened, or you know, just generally in life, it's not after something's already happened, you're not looking for justice, you're looking for accountability. Because true justice would mean that the bad thing never happened to you. No one ever took advantage of you to begin with. But if someone did, then you're looking for, when did I cut myself here? Not on purpose. Not this time on purpose. That's, if you have children and you see the scars, that's like one step more serious than ideation for suicide. It's like they're taking it more seriously. So like watch for that. Anyway, so this is kind of to have accountability, to bring about more of a sense of encouragement and justice. Someone else might have like a whole disaster, you know, like there's like not everyone's going to be happy for whoever is really holding their spot. I like this. I love underdog stories, like I really do. And so I'm definitely rooting for the underdog. It looks like there's an opportunity or a chance. There might even be like a natural disaster happening where there's like a crisis and it's like they need you or you need someone and they're there. You know, there could just be a lot of change and confusion in the middle of this change. And because emotions are so heightened, don't expect people to understand your clear words right away. It's like they need to process emotional changes that are happening first before they can understand logically what's happening. You know, this is like if you are sizing down a company or if you are making changes in an organization and it's not, doesn't make sense to everyone right away, or, you know, like that kind of thing. You know, someone comes in, they have a whole different vision for the company, they have a whole different vision for the startup, they have a whole different vision for the how it's, you know, supposed to go. And it's like, even if everyone stays, but everyone just changes and there's all these different changes, it could freak people out, that's all. So I'm kind of excited about this. Like basically I'm talking to whoever's been, you know, fighting for their spot. Like you did it, like you're doing it, you know, you're not going to be able, you're going to be able to handle whatever this is this week. You're not going to fall off because of this. So just keep holding on. Things are going to get a lot rockier, but you've already been proving yourself. So this might be like the last battle, the last obstacle before you enter the next level of game. And you're starting at 0, level 2. You know what I'm saying? It's that kind of thing. Numerology. Any guidance? Any guidance for this week ahead? Okay, there's this. Let's come out. Conclusions are within reach. Full moon eclipse energy. Oops. Well, it's like not that great. Okay, conclusions are within reach. Oh, I thought there was another one. Surrender to the divine. So surrender to the divine, and conclusions are within reach. This tower, you know, in the Fool, it's like, and the World, like that's pretty fated and destined. So, you know, like, remember, don't push super hard. Don't manipulate. Don't lie, cheat, or steal. Don't be immature. You know, just really focus on being mature. Focus on controlling yourself. Focus on maintaining your own peace. Focus on your boundaries that protect your peace, and trust the universe. Let everything happen as it's supposed to happen. If you're truly abundant, if you're truly a great manifester, if you're truly this co-creator with universe, you don't need to do all of these underhanded, sneaky things. That's not what an abundant person does, you know? Perfect. Bottom of the deck, work through your fears. That one does deserve to be like super. Wait. See. There you go. Work through. Come on, man. Work. There you go. Work through. Okay, you know what it says. It says work through your fears. So feel whatever comes up, especially if it's in the early beginning of the week with that Moon in Scorpio crossing the South Node. There might be some fears that come up, resentments, bitterness, real ugly feelings that come up to purge, to get out of your system. So really be self-aware, be the awareness behind the awareness, okay? Be the observer of the feeling and let it pass through and help it move on through. Don't identify with that, okay? Love you guys. Take very good care. Until next time, my loves. Many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful headstones.